Hey. This just stack it isn't fitting right. Even the now we're jumping back to themes. Wow, editing Sophia is gonna have a fucking field day. It's not omniscient. Hey, how's it going? How's life? My name is Sophia. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be doing a series review on the Green Bone Saga by Fonda Lee. The first book being Jade City, if you can see that, super shiny. Jade War being the second, and Jade Legacy being the finale. In the first book, you are following our main characters, the Call family, which is a crime lord family on the island of Kekon. The Call family run this gang known as the Mountain Clan, and they have a rivalry with this competing clan known as the Mountain Clan. Within this world, there is a substance known as bioenergetic jade, and it gives the wearer supernatural abilities like strength, speed, deflection, and a bunch of other stuff. And so this entire trilogy is basically following the beef, the drama of these two competing clans who are trying to compete for resources while also being a part of society that is opening up to outsiders. Hopefully that was a decent synopsis. We shall see when I have to edit this video. But yeah, so that is the premise of the entire trilogy. In terms of character development, I feel like that is where Fonda Lee shines when it comes to this entire trilogy. Every single one of her characters are unique. They have different motivations, and it makes the story very compelling and intriguing and really fun to read. Even the side characters, I would say, have a lot of thought and intention put into them. In my personal opinion, a sign of good character development is when I can understand the motivations and the intentions of the characters, even though I don't necessarily agree with them myself. And like, my favorite part of this entire trilogy is the fact that Fonda Lee is not afraid to make her characters suffer. She is not afraid to kill off main characters, and I may be a masochist, but like, I really enjoyed that aspect of the story. I feel like it adds a lot of emotional impact and tension, which is the main reason why I love to read. It adds this layer of fear almost, that anything could happen to your favorite character and no one is safe. I will say that my favorite character in this entire trilogy is Hilo. Like, he is just my precious murder baby. I love and adore him so much. And I think the reason why I love him so much, other than the fact that he's fine, is because I can see certain aspects of my identity within this character. And so I just appreciate how well written he was throughout this entire trilogy. Fonda Lee did some stuff in the third book that broke my heart when it came to my baby, but like, also I understand why she did it. Aitmata is the main antagonist of the Call family. She is the leader of the Mountain Clan, and even as an antagonist, I find that she is incredibly well written, very intellectual, very badass, and I think that she is probably one of the best antagonists that I've read in a really long time. You get to understand her motivations and why she does the certain things that she does. I just really appreciate and love her. Not as much as I love my baby daddy, Hilo, but what the fuck am I saying? Aitmata is a badass that could kill you with her pinky finger blindfolded. So like she is that type of character. But like not only is she like a badass and a really good fighter, but she's also very intellectual and she's very conniving with the moves that she makes. It's like this very entertaining game of cat and mouse between the Call families and Aitmata. You think that the Call family has the upper hand in certain scenarios, and then Aitmata just comes in and just crushes their hopes and dreams. And I'm just like, wow, I did not see this coming. But yeah, she's like a very, very well written antagonist. In terms of the plot, I thought that the plot was fun and engaging. I will say throughout this trilogy, the beginning starts off a lot slower. You're getting to know the world and the characters and the political climate in the beginning, and then usually I find that towards the middle section, towards the end, the plot really starts to pick up and it's really fast paced. I find that Fonda Lee keeps that pattern throughout the entire trilogy. So the first half of each book is a lot slower than the second half. So if you've started Jade City and you find it a little bit slow and you're just not really feeling it, I would say give it at least to the halfway point, and then things really start to pick up and like shit hits the fan. I will say that also like her climaxes are always incredibly explosive. Like every single time I think that Fonda Lee can't top the climax or the ending of the previous book, she goes ahead and she tops it. That for me was a really fun and entertaining aspect of the story. So like if you are a plot-driven reader, I would recommend. If you're a character-based reader, I would still recommend. If you are a plot-based reader, you might just want to give it some time if you're finding it to be a bit slow in the beginning. In terms of world building, I also feel like the magic system was very interesting. As I stated before, this is a society with bioenergetic jade, and bioenergetic jade gives the users supernatural abilities. I would consider this magic system to be a hard magic system because there are repercussions and there are specific ways in which the user needs to be able to use jade. I will say that even though this is a hard magic system, it's very easy to follow along with. It's not too hard to understand. If you are someone who is intimidated by complex, difficult magic systems, I feel like this would be something you would enjoy because it is so straightforward and easy to understand. The politics, the political machinations are just mwah, chef's kiss amazing. I would say that in the first book, Jade City, the politics and the world is a lot more intimate. It's confined to just the island of Kekon. And as the series progresses, the politics and the world also get bigger and a lot more complex as well. And then it starts involving different nations and those nations and their politics and the way they see society and the cultural difference between the Kekanese and the Aspenians and other nations of this world. And I thought that that was also mwah, excellently handled. Just like in reality today, each nation has their own set of values and morality, and so there are certain things that the Kekanese people do which are considered barbaric to outsiders like the Aspenian, and oftentimes they're looked down upon, and the Aspenians are like kind of on their high horse. But then as the series progresses and you learn more about the Aspenians, you know that the way that they handle their politics can be just as brutal as the Kekanese, if not more so. When it comes to this entire trilogy in terms of politics, there is no right and wrong answer. Everybody is morally gray. This entire society is morally gray. And even though people in power think that they're doing the right thing, oftentimes the people that suffer the most are the regular working class people. And so I thought that that was incredibly fascinating. I also loved seeing how the two different clans adapted to politics throughout the entire trilogy. As I said before, Jade City starts off intimate, and by the time we get to Jade Legacy, the politics are on a global scale. And it was very interesting and fascinating to see how the clans developed and adopted two different politics throughout the different decades that this story takes place in. And I feel like the themes also tie in a bit with the politics, especially in Jade War. One of our characters is sent to live abroad in a foreign country, and so the author deals a lot with themes of identity and diaspora and what makes a Kekanese person a Kekanese person. I really loved Jade War for the diaspora discussions that it was having. I could relate to it based on like my own identity and my own personal life, and so I thought that the way she handled those themes were just masterful and expertly done. Another really poignant theme that Fonda Lee deals with is themes of imperialism, and I feel like she touches on it in the first two books, but Jade Legacy is where she really goes in depth in exploring imperialism. As I was reading this entire trilogy, particularly Jade War and Jade Legacy, I was drawing a lot of parallels between Western society and the rest of the world. For those of you who might not know, I am Haitian American, and so I'm currently living in the United States. And so seeing how Fonda Lee portrayed imperialism, it reminded me of all like the fucked up shit that we do here in the United States and how it has negative lasting impacts on other countries. And I feel like Espenian represents not just the United States but Western civilization as a whole. And like the Espenians are so cocky. They're so cocky. They have a moral superiority complex, and they're constantly looking at Kekanese people and Kekanese culture as barbaric, which is a staple of a lot of Western civilization. If you know anything about history, oftentimes Westerners, American, British, Spanish, Portuguese, you name it, goes into other countries, and there's like this thought that they have to civilize these other nations. And that thread is also present within this trilogy. Because Jade is such a valuable resource, the Kekanese people aren't really valued as people outside of what they can provide other nations in terms of bioenergetic jade. And that plays a major role in the political machinations, especially in the third book. Fonda Lee also deals with themes of religion and how religion ties into imperialism and how imperialism ties into this system of oppression that the Espenians and countries like it place on smaller nations. Okay, my battery died as I was filming the outro, so we're gonna do this again. But yeah, so that was it for my Green Bone Saga series review. If you've read this series, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. If you're planning to read the series, also feel free to let me know. If you've reached the end of the video, feel free to leave a green heart emoji. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope to see you guys soon with another video, and until then, I will see you soon. Bye!